Hey guys, this is JP Mon from Planting Seeds Tutoring. In this video, we'll be going over simple and compound interest. Don't forget to use my referral code JPMon20 to get 10% off on your next tutoring package. Alright, let's actually start off with the formulae. So simple interest. The formula that you've probably seen is probably I equals P RT, where I is the interest, P is going to be the principal amount, R is going to be the rate, the interest rate for 1 year, or the time period that you're working with. And T is going to, usually this is going to be in terms of number of years and stuff. So T is usually going to be like in terms of number of years. Well, if this rate is going to be increasing every like month or something, in that case, it's going to be different. It's going to be every month then. But T is going to be time period. The formula that I'd like to be using, though, is going to be A equals P times 1 plus RT. Now, what's different about this is if you use the distributor property, you're going to notice this is the same thing as saying P plus PRT, which is the same thing as P plus I, which indicates this right here, this value A, is the same as the amount that you would be having, the amount of money that you would be holding on to after this much time. So after you gain this much interest, this interest right here is going to be added on to your principal amount. Principal is going to be what we say the initial value, essentially, how much you started off with. For compound interest, the general formula that you generally use is A equals P 1 plus, you've more likely than not have seen it where it's just P times 1 plus R to the power of T, or whole to the power of T. But I'm including this value N right here simply because sometimes you're given a question where you're told that a certain thing is compounded every single month, but you're also told like the number of years that you've held on to it. So this N value right here just tells you the number of times. It essentially just tells you the number of times that the interest was applied over that same time period. Number of times, I want to say compounded in the T time period. So if it was compounded every month or something, this N value right here would be 12, because every year, given that the T value is like in terms of years or something, that means the N value right here would be every month, or every month would be 12 times. Alright, let's try working out a quick practice problem for both of these scenarios. So let's say that you were to enter into a bank. Actually, let's say that one of your friends asks to borrow $300 and he agrees to repay it in exactly 30 days. So $300, and he's agreeing to repay it in exactly 30 days. $300, and he's agreeing to pay it in exactly 30 days. Well, if that's the case, or actually, let's say that he also says that he's willing to pay it with a 3% interest rate. Well, if that's the case, you should be able to kind of figure out how much it is that you're going to be making just based off of what your initial value is and the time period itself is. Let's say that this interest rate actually is going to be per month. He says that this interest rate right here is going to be per month. Well, 30 days, that matches up to being just 1 month. This right here would be a perfect example of a simple interest rate problem. So if the question were to ask you how much interest it is that you got, the value that you would be getting is I equals P times RT, where the P value is going to be your initial value, 300. R is going to be your rate, which is going to be your 3%. Percents are always written as decimals. It's going to be 0.03. And time period, well, this 3% interest rate is acted on every monthly. So the time period is going to be based off of the number of months, not the number of days. So it's going to be 1, which means that the total interest that he would be getting is $9. Well, how about if I used how much money is it that he would be holding on to? Or how much money is it that he's going to be getting in total when he returns the money? Well, that right there is actually going to just be the initial money that he actually borrowed plus this $9, which means he should be getting 309. In other words, he could have done A equals P times 1 plus RT, which would have gotten 300 times 1 plus 0.03 times 1. And this right here would have gotten you 309. And this right here, the units are going to be $309. Again, $309. And $9 is going to be this unit. All right. Let's say that you were to join a new savings account. Some random bank, let's call it ABC Bank. Let's say you were to join ABC Bank and you put in $1,000. That's going to be your principal. Let's say that ABC Bank compounds whatever the value it is that they were given every month. Well, that indicates our end value is going to actually have to be 12, given that our T value is going to be in terms of years. And that's what I'm going to be working with. Well, after 12 years, how much money would this person the person who put in this $1,000 have made? So after 12 years, given that the interest rate here is going to be an annual interest rate of 3%. So first thing first, like this end value is actually based off of the R value. If the R value is based off of every year, and you're told that you're compounding it every single month, that means you're dividing this like percentage, this 3% compounding over the entire year in terms of every month. So you'd be dividing it by 12. That's why we are using an end value of 12 here. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's plug this into our compound interest formula. A is equal to P times 1 plus R over N to the power of NT. Well, A is equal to That's what we're trying to solve. 1,000 is the principal amount. 1 plus r over n. Well, that's going to be 0.03 over 12 to the power of 12 times 12. So after 12 years, at this 3% rate, this person right here is actually going to be making a whopping about, in total they're going to be holding on to $1,432.69. Which means they would have made about $400 just out of interest. Interest, you can kind of think of it as like a gift that the bank gives you simply because you're sticking with that bank, or you're putting money into that bank, into that savings account. So it's definitely good to hold on to a good savings account simply because they do give you enough money to cancel out like inflation and stuff. However, it does depend on which savings account it is that you're working with. If you're working with like a 3% savings account, of course, great. All right. Thank you for watching this. I hope you all learned something new. And it's going to be it for this video.